If you are a long-term Mac and Windows user, there's a good chance you're familiar with the Mac virtualization software Parallels. This software is great, especially if you need access to Windows, but one of its major drawbacks, at least in my opinion, is going to be its cost. It's $119 annually for the Pro version, or $99 annually for the standard version, or you can do $129 for a single use version. Now, I've talked about using the free or low cost alternative application UTM, and this is free if you download it directly from UTM's website, or you can go to the Mac App Store, pay $9.99, get automatic updates as well as a lifetime license, which will be supporting the development. Now you can still get the updates with the versions you get from their website, but you're going to have to do that on your own. So just keep that in mind. Now, one of UTM's early limiting factors was its ability to run Windows. Now, when it ran Windows, you were able to run it through what's called emulation. It's basically where your ARM CPU pretends to be an x86 CPU, and you can, if you can probably see why that is an issue, and it just causes just a lot of sluggishness, and it's just a poor experience overall, and frankly, just sucks. If we want to sum it up with a simple phrase. Now, if you're getting ready to pay for a parallel subscription, I want you to hold on to your money, at least for now. Watch this video in its entirety and see if you need to go sign up and pay that money for Parallels. Because I have a little secret for you. UTM can actually easily support Windows 11. Don't believe me? Well, I'm going to show you. This is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a Windows 11 VM in UTM, so stick around. I have a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts down in the comments below. And lastly, stick around all the way to the end to get the most out of this video. Let's do this thing. All right, so before we actually get into creating the Windows 11 virtual machine, we're going to need to get an ARM version of Windows. Now, that's really difficult to get it directly from Microsoft's website. I did not see an option for that. Now, I do know an ARM ISO is available for members of the Windows Insider program, but it's super limited as far as what hardware you can use it on and all that kind of stuff. So it's really just not worth it, and can be really costly if you actually want to go down that route. But there is actually a tool out there, an application that will allow us to download an ARM version of Windows, and that's going to be through a tool called Crystal Fetch. Now let's go ahead and take myself down here. I'm going to bring this down to the desktop. All right, so let's go ahead. We're already here. We've already got the App Store up, and we're going to type in Crystal Fetch. This one right here, just one word. All right, there we go. And I've actually already got it installed, but it's a free app to download. It's going to allow you to download those Windows ISOs. So what you would do is you would just go ahead and hit open once you do it. And this is going to take you to the home page of that application. So once you're in the application, you're going to want to go ahead and just skip over this home page. Come over here to all builds. Here on the left-hand side, underneath Apple Silicon, just make sure you're under Apple Silicon. Go down to Windows 11, this one right here. And this is the version that we're going to want to go ahead and download. And these two versions, I've tried it with them, but I had some problems with it. So it just wasn't consistent. Sometimes I was having problems, sometimes I wasn't. So these are slightly newer versions, because this is March 12th and these are March 21st. So, they are much more recent. So if you really want to go down that route, you can use those. But like I said, it's hit and miss. You will be able to go ahead and update once you actually get this ISO image installed. So what you're going to do is once you do that, once you have it selected, you're going to come down here. You're going to go, I agree that I have a license for this product, and you're going to hit download. Now, it is going to take some time for this to download, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, let it do its thing, and then once it's done, we will go back and finish up. All right, so once it is done, it's going to actually pop up this window, and it's going to ask you, where do you want to save it? And we're actually just going to go ahead and save it in my Documents folder. We're going to go ahead and click Move. All right, perfect, and it is done. All right, so if we actually bring that over, I can show you. And there we go. We've got it right there. And make sure it says ARM64 here. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go ahead and start creating the virtual machine. So we're going to go into UTM. We're going to hit this plus sign. We're going to go ahead and go to Virtualize. We're going to select Windows. Here, we're going to go ahead and install Windows 10 or higher. We're going to make sure that's checked. We're going to go ahead and come down here to Browse underneath Boot ISO option. We're going to select the one we just downloaded. I'm sorry, Boot ISO image. We're going to select the one we just downloaded. We're going to go ahead and uncheck this one. I was having some inconsistent results with installing these tools with this one, so I'll show you how to do that once we actually get into the virtual machine. These install drivers and spice tools, those are going to make sure that everything works properly with inside the VM. And then here we're going to go ahead and up this to 8,192 for 8 gigabytes. We're going to give it 4 cores. Make sure that you give it as much as you can, because the more RAM and CPU cores you give it, the better it's going to run. You could probably go down as low as probably 1 core with 2 gigs of RAM, and it probably will still run, but it's not going to be the best experience, so just keep that in mind. We're going to hit continue. We're going to just leave this the default. I believe the lowest you can go down is either 25 or 35 gigs. We don't need a shared directory, and we're just going to call this Windows 11. So then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and hit save. All right, good. And we can see here that here in the CD-ROM, we've already got the ISO mounted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit the play button here. We're going to click inside this VM here. And it's going to see start boot options. And then the next thing it's going to do is going to say press any key to boot from the CD or a DVD. Make sure you catch that, because sometimes if you don't catch it, what will happen is it will go ahead and take you into like a shell, and that's not where you want to be. So if you do that, just go ahead and just force shut down the machine, turn it back on, and then try that again. It should work. Just be quick about it. All right, so here we go. Make sure you go ahead and update this for what it is relevant to you. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and make this bigger. We're going to hit next. Okay. There it goes. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't responding. It'll do that sometimes when you first set these up. Once you kind of get everything set up with the Windows VM, you don't usually have any issues. It's usually pretty responsive. So go ahead and select that you don't have a product key. All right, we're going to go ahead and select Windows 11 Professional. You can go with Core. We're going to go with Professional just because I like that one just a little bit better. Got a few more additional features. It's not usually like this. It's for some reason it's just doing that now. Okay, cool. We're going to hit next. I'm just clicking away at it. All right. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and force shut this down because this is getting annoying. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to come up to that little power button you saw me touch, this one right here. We're going to go ahead and hit, it says this may corrupt the VM, any unsaved change. It doesn't really matter for us because we haven't installed anything, so that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit play again. Most of the time this is fine. Every once in a while it acts goofy, just UTM in general. So let's go ahead and do that again. We already hit the key to go ahead and go in there. I'm going to go ahead and hit install now. Thanks for your patience with that, by the way. You got to see a little on the fly troubleshooting. We're going to click I don't have a product key. We're going to click professional. We're going to hit next. Click I accept this. Then we're going to go ahead and just do custom install. Then we're going to do next. It's already selected, and then it's going to go through the install process. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, let it do its installation thing, and then come back once that is done. All right, and it's just about done. All right, let's see here if it's going to go through any updates. It may or may not. Yep, see, there we go. Didn't need to do any of that, so it's going to go ahead and restart. Just go ahead and hit restart now. Speed that up just a bit. And what we're going to do while it's doing that, and this is fine to do while it's running, we're going to come over here and we're just going to hit clear for this ISO image. We don't want it to go. Want to go ahead and make sure that's removed. All right, it's going to go ahead and get ready. So what I'm going to do here is it's just doing some of its automated setup here before we actually are able to get in there and set things up. So let's go ahead and just pause the video and I'll be right back. All right, we are done here. So we're going to go ahead and come back here into the virtual machine. I blew it up just to make it a little bit easier to see. We're good with the US for me. We're going to skip adding an additional keyboard. I don't have internet. Continue with limited setup. You can see that it's a little grainy, but that'll be fixed once we install the guest editions. Just gonna put answer for all of these. I'm just going through some of the setup. This stuff is pretty routine as far as setting up Windows 11. I'm gonna go ahead and say no to all this stuff. Don't share any of that. Don't want a tailored experience either. Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and hit accept. And it's gonna have to go through a couple of additional things. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video again here. We're gonna let it do its thing. And here we go. We are now inside of the virtual machine. And you can see that it's just really grainy. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the top just of UTM. We're going to come over here to this one, that little guy. We're going to hit Install Windows Guest Tools. We're going to select that. All right, we're going to go ahead and open this up. Actually, I'll show it this way just in case you missed this. You can just go in here. It usually doesn't start automatically, and go to this PC and then come over here to the CD drive, open it up, and then go over here to this UTM Guest Tools application, and then just double click on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install it. And that's why it's so big and grainy right now, is because we don't have this installed yet. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish installing it. We're going to go ahead and want to reboot the system. Now, when we go to reboot the system, it may go into the new boot, and then you may get a black screen. That seems to be just kind of the way stuff is done with it sometimes. I'm not sure if it's going to happen every time yet you install this, but just keep that in mind. That is not completely abnormal. So we've got that installed. Yep, so it needs to do the reboot. So we're going to go ahead and hit finish. We're going to let it do its thing. Now, let's see if it gives us that black screen. If not, I'll just kind of show you what to do. We've kind of already done what you'll want to do if that ends up doing that. See, here we go. It's starting the boot, doing that stuff. Don't worry about this text on there. Oh, it didn't do it. Okay, cool. So now you see stuff is a lot more proportional. I actually have this on a 1080p screen, full screen. But if for any reason it does that, it blacks out, just come over here to the power button, and then you can just do a force shutdown. It should be fine. There's a small chance that it may get corrupted and you might have to reinstall the operating system, but it's highly unlikely. But yeah, we are ready to go here. Stuff works a lot better now that we've got that updated. Now, keep in mind that stuff is not going to be perfect with ARM, with the ARM version of Windows, because it's got its own stuff to work out. It's still relatively new. It's definitely not as mature as, x86 versions, but you can pretty much do everything you're going to need to. You can just do updates. Check for updates. We can do all that stuff. Should have all of your regular application stuff. We're going to go to all apps. We got all that stuff here. We can see all the stuff here. But yeah, it is ready to go. So yeah, that is pretty freaking cool. UTM is fan-freaking-tastic, if I have to say so myself. Installing a VM is so easy, and Windows is no exception when it comes to UTM. The future is bright for UTM since it's based on QEMU, and I can see it being easier to use than VirtualBox at some point in time in the future as it matures. Now, make sure to check out this other video from my channel if you haven't already. Remember, mistakes make you better, so keep on making them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.